Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. My name is Dr. Lariat, also known as Ron. I'm here, and this is my project. I call it the Muscle Docking Project. And over here, I'm going to do something that I don't think has been done, and that's going to be talking with fans and introducing the world to who we are and why we do what we do and why we watch what we watch. Joining me today, you might know him from the tunnels as the tunnels guy on Blue Sky. You might know him as the tunnels guy on your Discord. His name, I will call him Antonio, which is a really cool name because there's a couple of great Antonios in wrestling, and might as well add another one. How you doing, Antonio?
I'm all right. Thank you for having me on.
So, I'm having you on here today is I want you to tell the people how and why it is exactly you got into such a goofy media that we all know and love as pro wrestling.
Yeah, well, I come to it from a acting background. I'm an actor and playwright. I've been in theater for quite a few years now, but I first grew a fascination for it entering into COVID. I'd seen a few clips of some matches before, but had never watched one in its entirety, especially after one of the clips I saw was Seth Rollins versus The Fiend at Hell in a Cell in 2019. But
Wow.
uh,
Wow. That's crazy.
yeah, mm-hmm, yep, that match, that's the one. And a little bit after that, I sort of discovered the existence of AEW. The first match I ever watched in full on Hulu was Scorpio Sky versus Chris Jericho for the AEW World Championship. Not long after that, I got drawn in by Kenny, Hangman, and the Young Bucks, and from there, I never stopped watching.
Wow. Wow. So you're definitely a, a late starter. I'm not gonna say late
That's
because
true.
you're still a young man.
Yep,
I'm not
oh
I'm
one.
not 2001. Geez, and that's really got me feeling kind of weird. I'm the 40-year-old man and I'm talking to the kids, hey, you're doing it wrong. And I don't ever want to tell the kids you're doing it wrong, but I think I'm that guy now. So yeah, so what about it made you like really want to stay and keep on with it? Because 2019, 2020, I think that's around the time that those matches happen. Uh,
Yep.
People see that as like a
Uh,
low time for us.
yeah, so for me, from my theater background, I just found wrestling as a theatrical form fascinating. It doesn't have a fourth wall necessarily. Most wrestlers are expected to keep up that presence constantly, keep playing the character online, in public, in interactions with fans. There's very few exceptions to that. You see Adam Cole operate his Twitch as an entirely different persona, but other than that, most performers are constantly in character all the time. And
Um,
that's very different from anything you see in theater.
yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not sure if you told the audience this, but what is it that you do for a living? If that's
Yeah,
not
I'm a
too
stage
personal.
performer.
Ooh.
I
Okay.
I got into acting. I was late into that too. Actually, I was voluntold to participate in a middle school musical when I was in sixth grade. From there, I did the occasional school production and community theater production, which I hated. But then I got by chance into a professional production of a play. Real grim first professional play, Diary of Anne Frank. Um,
Oh yeah,
but
that's
beyond
there's
that,
nothing right about that.
yeah, yeah, it was not a real happy affair. But from there, I've done. more straight plays, musicals. Most of my training's been in a Shakespeare specialty, so I've done a lot of that. Most recently, I think I've posted about this in the Discord. I was in a production of Macbeth, but from there, I've just kept doing stage performances, kept writing plays. My first movie appearance should be coming out either at the end of this year or next year.
Ooh,
So yeah.
that's that's pretty cool, man. Um, I don't know if our audience knows that, but I'm Filipino. You're Filipino.
As am I, yes.
People, you know, people think that we're only nurses. Not necessarily. I mean, even if
A
you're a
lot of us
nurse,
are.
I mean, a lot of us are, but even if you're a nurse, even if you're in healthcare, you still have to perform on karaoke. And
Oh yes. And I am a very good singer, I will say.
oh yeah, I also think that about myself. I'm not sure my wife does, but I digress. um, yeah, man. So is that entertainment aspect something that really appealed to you, or is that just something that just came off? And is it was it like the outside of the wrestling that also had you get an interest in them? Like what, just watching the product I get, but what made you go further than just watching the product and going somewhere to like Discord to like discuss with other freaks about this stupid media we watch? What drove you to that?
Well, it's just sort of, I found the wrestling community to be very engaging to interact with. There's much less, I found at least, of a monoculture than there is in my theatrical discussions as I'm talking about that. There's a very much a sort of dominant decorum or manner about the dialogue around live theater. And I found that can be a little bit strangling. I noticed people were definitely not open about wrestling when I wrote a paper about a Joshi wrestling match for my theater history class in college.
Uh, you know, that leads me to another question, which you just answered. Of are you in the closet as a fan?
As
Like
a wrestling fan,
as a wrestling fan, are you in the
almost
closet?
entirely.
Okay,
Almost entirely.
let
I
me tell
don't
you.
talk about it much in public or around my theater friends. There's one exception to that, but I'll let you say whatever you're going to say before I get into that.
Oh, okay. Let me tell you that that's a good answer. Um, I know a lot of people are in the closet. I know I was in the closet. I still am at in a professional sense because there's nothing worse than talking to your. There's two things. You're either gonna talk to someone that's a super fan or someone that's gonna say, "Oh, how could you watch that BS?" And that's the most annoying part
I
of.
did lose out on a hookup because I told someone I was a wrestling fan.
Oh, oh man, uh, tough, tough. And that is why I always. I'm gonna keep that for some other time. Um,
Yeah.
and and like people like want to be. Some people want to be judgy on that front, but like, come on, do we really need to tell people what that I like this? This is something that I want to like, or like. So in my case, I actually was watching like I was watching Dynamite at work on our so you have like a TV at work, and then some other guy came in and he was just silently watching next to me, and then he asked me like, "So, do you love WWE?" And I said, "I do not." And his reaction was to walk away.
Ooh.
And that kind of told me what I needed to know, and I just ended up not watching wrestling at work because of that ever again.
Yeah.
Unless I'm by myself.
Makes sense.
That's why I like to
Yeah. I've
read
only
myself.
really interacted with two people in my theatrical world slash life that have
Okay.
been into wrestling. One of them is a guy named Matthew, who's a veteran of the Minnesota theater scene. We did a show together, and he used to wear FTR T-shirts to
Okay.
rehearsals. And so we got to talking about that. I gave him shit because I thought the Young Bucks were
Well,
better. They are, but
well,
we're not going to get into that right now. Uh,
well, we know the FTR is everybody's favorite tag team. Hashtag FTR.
oh yeah, sorry. I
You
should
know.
make sure. I know Floyd might see this.
Yeah.
Nah, Floyd, FDR is great. They're
Yeah.
totally the best.
You know.
Um,
Nah, fuck them. Fuck
But
FW.
yeah,
Fuck the revival, as some blonde man used to say.
yeah. The other one, the other one I spoke to was a guy from my college when I was going to a musical theater college in New York City,
Ooh.
and he was super into the WWE. On my 21st birthday, he invited me to his apartment. His parents were super rich, and they had a built one of those fancy like home theaters in their apartment complex.
Uh-huh.
And he pulled up the only WWE show I have ever watched front to back,
What show was
the
that?
Royal Rumble 2022, and I've never watched a WWE show again because wow.
Golly. Have you ever seen a crowd hear music and not react?
I mean, only in some really bad theatrical
Yeah,
productions I've been
yeah.
in.
Those Royal Rumbles past in this decade, the 20s, it's so hard for me to say this decade. They'll play music, the audience will be quiet because they don't know who it is, but then when they hear someone like, say, uh, a Seth Rollins or a Roman, of course they'll pop, but when they hear like bleep, blah, bleep, blah, bleep, blah, bleep, and then it's just quiet until someone pops up and it's still quiet. Oh man, they they killed their own. The Royal Rumble used to be, I'm not sure if you know this, used to be like one of their big events, and we always used to look forward to whose song is playing. And with this new generic music, it's not it, bro. And I don't know how people can sit there for an hour, two different Royal Rumbles and not know anybody coming out. It's like the weirdest. But man, you had a pretty interesting start to your wrestling, and man, those shows to be intro to the World Wrestling Entertainment. That's The Fiend versus Seth Rollins in the 2022 Royal Rumble. Man, oh, I guess AEW is lucky to have you. That's
Yeah,
yeah.
I've then sort of gotten into some other stuff later. I mentioned briefly a little bit earlier, a couple minutes ago, that I'd wrote a paper for my college about wrestling. That actually wasn't about a newer match. That was about a match I found on YouTube between Megumi Kudo and Combat Toyota in the 90s.
Oh yeah, that's my stuff, man. Everybody else would be watching All Japan, but I'd watch FMW because Combat Toyota, not Toyota, Toyota and Megumi Kudo would be carving each other up, throwing each other into barbed wire and blowing each other up.
It's insane. That
And
match is wild.
it's so sick, bro. It's so sick. And like Megumi is
I
like,
wrote a good 15 pages on that before my professor told me I was only supposed to write 7 for the assignment.
oh, well, us Asians, we have to overachieve all the time.
Oh, always.
Oh yeah. So like so you got like Megumi Kudo, she's like an idol, like I mean you seen her, you saw her in the 90s, man, she would be like on
Hmm.
all these idol magazines, she'd be having like sponsorship from ramen noodles and from other things like Pepsi and stuff. She was a star. She was a star, and for her to go and do all that stuff, fall into the barbed wire nets and explode with Combat Toyota, not saying much, but like sh Combat Toyota looks like her name would be Combat.
Yeah, probably. Well, actually, I'll say this. This might be a little controversial. My favorite wrestler to ever walk out to Wild Thing.
Oh, okay. And that leads me to this question. So, brother, who is your favorite wrestler?
My favorite wrestler, right now, well, unfortunately, one of my, as the people at Tummy Talk would say, special guys is currently out. Get well soon to Luchasaurus.
Oh, okay.
Really sad to hear about him. But
Oh,
the
yeah.
guy who kept me around, who kept me watching wrestling through COVID and kept me sort of engaged with it, was Hangman. Was Hangman Adam Page.
Uh,
Um,
Shout out to
I
all
will
the
say for
hangirls
those
out
of
there.
you, oh yeah, I'm a hangirly myself. Um, the For those of you who don't engage with much media outside of wrestling, whether it be theater or TV or film, anything like that, truthfully, there's not really a better portrayal of depression and alcoholism in other media than that Hangman Page 2020 2021 uh, climb up to the world title.
Definitely.
It's genuinely insanely good.
You
Like
feel
even
for the
from a
guy.
theatrical perspective.
Like he always has these pained expressions in him when he's talking about it, when he's during the fall. And if
Yeah.
you like,
Truthfully, a
oh
lot
man,
of performers in wrestling are just not very good actors when it comes to expressions and conversation when it's outside of a big cutting a promo. He is good. He is genuinely
oh,
good.
I've had this theory that he, cause like in that swerve program, he was cutting like a Macbeth style soliloquy in front of the burning house. That
Oh yeah.
that was like straight out of Shakespeare, and like some
Where's
people,
the other guy?
oh no, yeah, and, you know, like
Those
some,
two, man.
oh man, some people would call him a whiny millennial. Some people would say he's not masculine enough for him, but I'm like, bro, part of the masculine experience is he's so fucking petty and he's so obsessed with this one guy who got shit over him that he has to end him. What is more masculine than that? What is stupid toxic more toxic masculinity than wanting to end a guy that had the crowd turn on you? That's
And this right here is why I don't understand how some wrestling fans can be homophobic when wrestling at its peak is toxic yaoi.
yeah, yeah.
It
Oh
is
man.
gay.
Let me tell you about the 90s and Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart and how they had those things. And let me tell you, okay, I know this is before your time, but 10 years ago, there was this group John Moxley was in. It was called The Shield, and they had fangirls. And I would just go tell you to go on that lovely website called Tumblr and just type in The Shield or
Ah, yes.
Seth X Roman, Seth X Ambrose.
My only exposure so far to the Shield has been on archiveofourown.org, so that should tell you something.
That's that's remarkable, man. And sorry to just finish things up here because I like to I like to really finish things up really sweet. So, bro, tell me your favorite dessert and also tell me your favorite Filipino dessert.
Okay, well, I will tell you, I don't have a lot of experience with the Filipino desserts because my grandparents got divorced.
Ooh.
My grandfather, with the Filipino one, moved back. He moved back to Manila for a while, and so he wasn't really a very active part of my life for a long time. So I ended up being super disconnected from the Filipino side of my heritage until I got into martial arts and started studying Filipino Kali.
Oh, dude,
As
you
far
do
as
Kali
Filipino
already?
food
Oh,
goes,
man.
oh, I love Kali, man.
Oh, dude, I did Arnie's and Eskrima and Kali when I was a kid because my dad was a cop and thought like I needed these John Wick's knife fighting skills for some reason.
Well, for me, it's come in handy for my acting work. So
Oh, cool, cool, man.
yeah,
Yeah,
Kali is the basis of the Society of American Fight Directors fight choreography system. So it came in very handy when I was getting my knife certification for that.
yeah. I think yeah, that's freaking sick, man. That's sick, and it's cool to see
Yeah.
that represented with like Daredevil and like
Oh yes, I
oh
love Daredevil, man. That's
man.
good stuff.
So
Sorry, I'm getting way off the topic of
oh yeah,
food.
yeah. But what's your favorite dessert, man? I mean, when you come out here, we gotta go get halo halo or something, because I gotta open
Oh,
my
halo
mind.
halo, I know, although I haven't had it much. My Filipino food experience is limited to lumpia and the family adobo recipe that I love to make. But
Okay, bet.
beyond that, as far as just regular desserts,
Yeah,
it might
yeah.
be a little simple, but the thing I really like is I'll make brownies and then I'll typically mix with that some mint chocolate chip ice cream. I know some people don't like mint chocolate chip because they say it tastes like toothpaste.
That's
All
me,
I have
man.
to say about that is, damn, man, you don't brush your teeth, huh?
Oh no, I brush my teeth. I brush my teeth, but
Well, if you brush your teeth, how do you think that it tastes like toothpaste?
I don't know, like just the cream part. But you know what's weird is I love mint tea. And you think like if I drink mint tea, I think that'd be drinking mouthwash, but no, I love mint tea. I love
Oh,
mint.
I like mint tea too. I was a late adopter of tea, but I love a mint tea.
All right, man. Well, I want to tell you, man, it's been a pleasure to get to know you. It's good.
Absolutely. Apologies for my rambling.
Oh, no, bro. Everybody rambles. Everybody's got their own story to tell. My one of my favorite quotes is, "You are the main character of your own epic story," and that's from a famous Filipino writer who I cannot remember the name of, but I know that. And yeah, man, thank
Ooh,
you
the
for.
ancestors would be disappointed.
No, he was a. I'll tell you about him later, bro. But yeah, man. My name again is Ron, aka Doc, and it's been a pleasure to talk with Antonio here and to get to let the people know who he is. And thank you for joining me, man. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Thank you.